Mike Pence is running for president. You may not have known that because his campaign is extraordinarily low energy, although I will tell you, he is actually ticking up a little bit in Republican polling. We'll get to that in a moment. A visibly disturbed woman confronted Mike Pence at a rally. Sorry, this is not a rally. I don't know what to call this, at an event where he spoke to a small crowd. A crazy woman stood up and said it is his fault that Biden is president because Biden is only president because Mike Pence didn't, quote, send the election back to the states. What do they mean by that? I don't actually think they know. I'll explain that in a moment. But here is this woman saying it is your fault that Biden is here because you didn't do it. You didn't reject the election results. Let's take a listen.
If it wasn't for your vote, we would not have Joe Biden in the White House.
Right.
Joe Biden shouldn't be there. And all those wonderful things that you and Trump were doing together would be continuing, and this country would be on the right path. Do you ever second guess yourself? That was a constitutional right that you had to send those votes back to the states.
Did he?
It was not like you were going to personally elect him. We all know by the number of votes that were there who won that election.
Do we?
The Constitution is very clear. My job was to oversee the session of Congress where objections could be heard. And I made sure that objections would be recognized. So we would hear whatever evidence or the debate there was. But the Constitution says you open and count the votes, no more, no less. The Constitution affords no authority for the Vice President or anyone else to reject votes or return votes to the states.
Mike Pence is correct here on this issue. It doesn't mean I agree with him on abortion or taxes, but he is correct on this issue.
Never been done before, should never be done in the future. I'm sorry, ma'am, but that's actually what the Constitution says. No vice president in American history ever asserted the authority that you have been convinced that I had. And I want to tell you, with all due respect, I said when I announced President Trump was wrong about my authority that day, and he's still wrong.
Mike Pence is completely correct. He's correct. Think about it for a second. Like we'll get into the law in a moment. The law is clear, but you don't even need to look at the law. Just apply common sense. Apply common sense directly to your forehead and think about it. What does it mean to send it back to the states? The states send their results. Arizona sends their results and they say Biden got more votes, so Arizona's electoral votes go to Joe Biden. Great. Pence stands up and says, no, I don't accept these. I am sending these results back to the states. And the state goes, okay, Joe Biden won. We're sending it back to you again. Only if you think that upon sending it back to the states, someone will intervene and send fake electors, which they wanted to do, could you get it into your brain that sending it back to the states is a real thing. Now, if you look at the Constitution, Mike Pence is completely correct. The Constitution, the law, give the vice president the role of opening and counting electoral votes that have been certified by each state. The vice president, functioning as the president of the Senate in that situation, has no authority to change or reject the electoral votes that have been sent there by the states. If Mike Pence had tried to do that, it would have violated the democratic principles and the norms and the law of American government. Trump got this idea from that infamous legal memo from John Eastman, the deranged law professor who was advising Trump, what might you be able to do? And the Eastman memo had a number of ideas. This was one of them. And as far as this idea is concerned, the memo argued Pence can use an obscure law called the Electoral Count Act of 1887 to reject some of the electoral votes and create a situation where no candidate has a majority. In other words, if Pence rejects enough Biden states that neither candidate gets to 270, then it would throw the election to the House of Representatives. That interpretation was widely rejected by every serious legal expert, historian, and lawmaker from both the Republican and Democratic parties as unconstitutional, baseless, and a completely wrong-headed interpretation of the 1887 Electoral Count Act. So the woman's wrong. It's interesting that she's even at a Pence event. I don't know if she considers herself a supporter of Pence. You'd think not, if she thinks that this is what Pence should have done. Presumably, she supports Trump and not Mike Pence. On this issue, and Mike Pence, I think, is a disgusting guy in just about every way. On this issue, Mike Pence is non-controversially and incontrovertibly stating what the law is, and that is it. And for that, I guess he deserves praise. The bar is that low with this Republican Party that we can praise him for that. We need to teach kids to think critically and independently, and we aren't doing a good enough job of it. I have a book right here that teaches kids critical thinking. I wrote this book, and it's available on Amazon at davidpakman.com/book. This is told through the story of a kid detective. The idea is critical thinking, thinking independently, is like solving a mystery. Getting clues, evaluating them, thinking through scenarios. The right knows that when kids think critically, they don't end up being Republicans when they're adults. And that's why they hate teaching kids critical thinking. This book alone won't solve the problem, but it will get kids interested. Get a copy, Kindle, paperback, at davidpakman.com/book.